Hi, and welcome to A View from the Bed. This is a CHI St. Vincent podcast where we talk to real patients about their healthcare perspective. We know that your healthcare journey can be scary, so that's why we want to get their view on the good, the bad, and the ugly from diagnosis to recovery. Enjoy today's episode. Hey guys, thanks for joining us for today's podcast. We're going to be talking to Amy, who had weight loss surgery 3 years ago in Hot Springs. So, Amy, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
So, 3 years ago.
Yes.
When did you officially hit your 3-year anniversary?
It'll be last September is my
Okay.
3-year anniversary.
Oh, that's awesome. Mine was in December. Well, very cool. So tell us a little bit about what started your weight loss journey and knowing that weight loss surgery was the route you wanted to go.
So it was pretty much my daughter and my family and trying to keep up with them. And at the weight I was not able to do that. I wasn't able to do the things that I wanted to do after working a 12-hour shift as a nurse. I still wanted to have energy to go home and be with my family and all the things that I could not. Like as soon as I got home, I was in my recliner and that was it. So it was really an awakening that I wasn't able to participate in life.
Yeah. No, that is, I think sometimes people think that to have weight loss surgery, you have to have this grandiose outcome, but sometimes it's just doing normal activities.
Yeah. Just normal activities of life, being able to go to the mall with my daughter for school clothes shopping or just anything like that was a whole undertaking for me at that point in time. I would have to stop and take breaks. Oh yeah, she would be like, "Mom, let's go." And I couldn't. I had to stop and take breaks. And so I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. Just can't keep going like this. And, did you go through some of the regular things that just people that are trying to lose weight, especially this time of year when people start resolutions like the diets and the fads? And did you do all of that?
I've tried multiple things, but of course, it only lasts for a little while and then you're backsliding right into your old habits or not quick enough results that you're like, well, I'm doing all this stuff and there's no results coming. And you get tired and you're like, well, if nothing's going to happen, let me just go back to what I was doing.
Yes. Or you do those meal plans, but you get the food and on TV, the food looks great or, on your Instagram feed and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is like cardboard. Like, I just can't eat any more of this. And go through those kind of emotions and feelings.
Yes.
So got to ask you to give our listeners and watchers context. How much weight have you lost in total?
Total's been about 135 pounds.
Do you guys hear that? 135 pounds. That is a human. That's a whole
person.
Small adult person. That's a high five, girl. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we want to give our watchers and listeners a little bit about the process because sometimes people are scared, they think surgery is a big step. So what kind of weight loss surgery did you have?
I have a gastric sleeve.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what that is exactly.
So, and they don't reroute anything. All they're doing is just making your stomach smaller, basically taking a piece off of your stomach because as you overeat through all the years, your stomach expands and expands, which allows you to overeat more and more and more. Okay. So basically they're just putting you back to a normal size stomach so that you get fuller quicker.
Okay. So no rerouting because I think most people, when they think of weight loss surgery, they think of the bypass. And so that's a big difference between what Amy had, which is the sleeve, and then the bypass where they actually reroute your intestines with how your stomach empties and make your stomach smaller. So this one is the sleeve process. So I just wanted people to know that. So tell us about the process. Was it hard to, go through the steps? Did insurance cover it? Tell us a little bit about that.
So once I kind of talked with my husband, made the decision that I felt like this was the journey that I wanted to start on, I attended a support group pre-meeting with Crystal Loudermilk and Dr. Webb. They did a wonderful presentation, really walked you through exactly kind of what was going to go on. I started that journey in March. So it took me from March to actually September to actually meet all my goals to have my surgery.
Okay.
At the point in time that I started the journey, my BMI was actually so high that I couldn't actually have the surgery yet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I had to lose weight to have weight loss surgery.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of is a double-edged sword.
I don't think about that, though.
But my BMI was too high for me to actually safely have surgery.
Okay.
So I started the journey with Crystal Loudermilk. She was my basically preceptor, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Walked me through all the steps. She gave me a beautiful binder, taught me how to start eating correctly, kind of getting into those habits that you're going to have post-surgery.
Yeah.
And I reached my goal at the end of August. So then in September, I had my surgery. But it was a whole journey.
Okay.
And it wasn't just, hey, I want to do this. And they took me on the surgery schedule and we did it. It was a whole learning adventure to really make sure that you have good results post-surgery.
Sure.
You get all your tools pre-surgery.
Oh, yeah. Well, and like you said, I mean, I think another misconception is people think this is a quick fix. Or, some people even say, oh, it's an easy way out.
It's not.
And it's like, it is not. You have a lot of steps to go through, especially for your insurance to cover it. And insurance will cover it. And that's the cool thing about like Crystal and her role is to help make sure that you meet those criteria. So insurance will cover it for you. So I think that's a really important step to know that you have to go through.
Yes, definitely not the easy way out. You can, with anything, it can very easily, even post-surgery, you have to adapt those new learning and eating habits because you can, this is not a fail-proof. You can gain weight even if you've had the gastric sleeve surgery.
Yeah.
So you will have to continue on all of those tools that you learned pre-surgery.
Yeah. So you got approval and you're scheduled for surgery in September. Tell us a little bit about surgery and then after surgery, how that kind of kickstarted your journey there. So tell us a little bit about how that.
So surgery day, of course, was super exciting. Ready for it. Nervous, but did great. Spent just one night in the hospital.
Oh, that's good.
The worst thing was the gas pains.
Oh,
Afterwards, but getting up and walking. Even to that point in time, to have surgery, I'd lost about 25 pounds.
oh, wow.
So just that amount of weight coming off was like, my knees didn't hurt quite as bad as they did while I was walking, just in that small amount. So that really, jump-started that excitement of, hey, if 25 pounds can make me feel this way, gosh, what's at the other end of the journey for me? So surgery was not bad. It was laparoscopic.
Okay.
So just 5 little incisions, no staples, no stitches. It was just glued. Spent one night in the hospital.
Yeah.
I did have to meet my fluid goal the next day. You never thought drinking 30 cc's of a liquid would be.
Guys, that's like a cough syrup cup, like a little Robitussin cough syrup cup. How did that feel the first time after surgery? You took a swig of just a little bit of water out of that cup. What did that feel like?
It was the strangest feeling ever. I've never felt, I don't know, it's indescribable. But to know, just, you think, again, just those little 30 cc's cough syrup every hour, that's your goal. And you have to do that for 6 consecutive hours.
Oh, my gosh.
But just...
Did you just feel
that?
funk?
Yes. Like
you just go down and you're
ate your biggest Thanksgiving meal ever.
gosh.
And it just, it was challenging.
Yeah.
I
can imagine.
To think about that. It just, you wouldn't think that would be such a challenge, but it was.
Yeah. Well, when you are back to a small tummy size, you don't realize, when you're just living normally, you don't realize how much food you actually can consume
Right.
and how far your tummy can stretch, until it's kind of reset back. So when you went home, how did that go? Tell us a little bit about what you had to get used to once you got back home after surgery.
A lot of liquids. Yeah, you're on a liquid diet for 6 to 8 weeks of just liquids. So that's protein water, which I didn't know existed until this surgery. Gatorade makes it actually pretty good.
Yeah, and it's like sugar-free.
It is sugar-free.
Yeah.
Drinking liquids at room temperature.
Oh, yes.
It was a little bit of a challenge. I
can't think
wasn't
about
used to that, but yes, you have to drink them at room temperature. But again, like setting those very small goals of, and my husband was wonderful about setting his alarm in every hour, bringing my little 30 to 45 cc's of my liquid, and getting up and moving, everything. But just in the short period of probably 2 weeks post-surgery, the amount of weight that come off fairly quickly, and just that feeling of being able to get up and move again was just phenomenal.
Well, and then too, you have that kind of instant gratification of seeing the fruits of your labor, so to speak, which in this case is, the little laparoscopic puncture wounds that, you're healing from, which really honestly don't hurt.
No.
But then you start to feel and see, oh, my clothes are getting a little bigger, and the excitement kind of kicks in.
And being able to buy your first non-plus size outfit, clothes. I was texting Crystal on my first purchase of a normal sized outfit. It was just
exciting.
It was just those little things, non-scale wins.
Non-scale win. No, I think that's really good is non-scale wins, because yes, you track things with weight, but then you have those moments where you might not see it on the scale, but you feel it, or you drop, a shirt size, or was there ever a time that during the recovery, especially early on in the recovery process, that you were just like, oh my gosh, what have I done with adjustments? Or did you just kind of flow into the adjustments?
I really never had that, oh my gosh, what have I done moment. It all just kind of snowballed into more fire of wanting to do more and seeing more results. And you do hit plateaus where you don't see any true weight loss on your scale, but again, your clothes fitting differently. It's crazy, but like even your shoe size goes down.
Yeah, think about that.
But you do.
Did you drop ring sizes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Had to have my rings all size. Like you don't think about the things that affect your weight.
I know.
Swelling in your legs, your knee pain, it
all kind of melts away.
It all melts away.
Yeah. Were you on any medication beforehand that you were able to come off of once you lost weight?
Yes. I was on blood pressure medicine, so I had high blood pressure. I was kind of borderlining on being a diabetic.
Okay.
A1C was rising, but not to the point where I was technically had that diagnosis yet.
Okay.
But all of that, within about 8 months, I was able to come off of my blood pressure medicine.
That's exciting. I don't know what's more exciting. I don't know. Maybe as a girl, the clothes shopping thing, or that's more exciting. But I think the moment when you come off a medication is also so exciting, because not only do you like the way you're looking, but you're feeling and seeing the health benefit too.
Yes.
Of not having to have that medication. So that is so exciting.
Yes, very much so.
What was one thing through your journey that was a struggle?
Struggle-wise was probably hitting those plateaus and knowing it's okay to not see numbers on the scale decreasing. Body image, like dysmorphia, not trying to shop for those smaller sizes, but holding them up in the store and being like, oh, no, I can't fit that.
Yeah.
And putting it back. And then once you buy the bigger size and you get it home and you try it on, you're like, oh, geez, this is too big. Like I did need that smaller size.
Yeah.
So really really knowing that your body's changing and owning that change was probably, even now, 3 years afterwards, I still have that kind of issue on buying clothes and buying the correct size without actually trying it on.
Oh, yeah. Because, especially if you've been overweight as an adult for a long period of time, you get so used to what works,
Right.
that when it changes, you still don't believe it.
Right.
That's just a really cool realization. I think, you mentioned your husband, but I think that's where having people in your life that can see the changes go with you to some of those things, whether it's like a best friend or a sister or a husband, and holding things up and they'll be like, you can totally fit that.
Right.
Like, just try it on. You can fit it. It helps because until you get used to really your new body, you only know what you know.
Right.
Did you ever find it overwhelming when you went into the store for the first time, when you didn't have to shop on plus size and you knew you had all these options? Were you ever overwhelmed by that?
Yes. Before, it's very, plus size is very small retail corner of the market. I know there's lots of stores, but like shopping online and things like that, it was easier than going to the store. I didn't like trying on clothes. My jeans and my t-shirts were my go-to things because they were comfortable. They hid what I need hidden.
Yeah.
All the things. So actually going into like any store and being able to go to the clothing section is just mind-blowing. It still is.
Yeah.
Not having to say, do y'all have a plus size section? Or, knowing that the store doesn't carry plus size at all. We can't even go in there. There's, no reason to go in there and even look.
Yeah.
But being able to literally walk into any store or boutique or anything like that and find clothes is still just mind-boggling to me.
That would be mind-boggling for sure. And just such a good feeling of not only your hard work, because again, like Amy mentioned, this is work. This isn't easy. It's not easy. You have to relearn how to eat. You have to relearn how to drink water. You never realized how much water you have to consume before you get dehydrated until you've had weight loss surgery.
Yes.
Was there ever a point that you faced dehydration or anything like that and had to deal with it?
So the very first time I got a little tummy bug, it's a whole different era. Also being sick and having any like stomach issues when you have the sleeps, because it's very easy to get dehydrated.
Yeah.
So rehydrating yourself, you have to be very conscious of, again, kind of going back to that post-op first few days of where you literally like set a timer and every hour you're sipping on that water, that Gatorade or whatever it is. So that's something to be mindful for that I wasn't really ready for until it happened, but you adjust.
Well, and sometimes you might hear too, especially post-op, maybe a month post-op, it's not uncommon for you to need some IV fluids sometimes. So just know that if you're going into this journey or looking into weight loss surgery, that's not uncommon. You haven't failed your, water drinking. It's sometimes, while we're adjusting, you might have to have some IV fluids to just give yourself a little bit of a boost. Is there anything that you have found over the counter that helps with hydration that is like a go-to, or any tips or tricks that you've learned, especially for that hydration, that you could share?
Always keep a water bottle with you. Always keep sipping. Like I tell people now, I actually eat and drink more than pre-surgery, just because it's a constant. You've constantly got to keep drinking to keep yourself, meet your goals for your day. Again, even this many years post-op, I still have my goals of what I have to drink every day and keep myself going and hydrated and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's some days are a struggle. Some days it's easy. You just keep on going.
Keep on going. And I think the big thing too that you mentioned is it's a journey. This isn't you're going to do it. You never have to think about it again. I actually think you become more aware after the surgery. because you know the things that you have to do to stay hydrated and to eat. Especially if you're a diabetic, or a long-time diabetic or type 1 diabetic, you really have to become hyper aware, even as a type 2, to make sure your blood sugar stays up and, things of that nature. So it's definitely a journey that you'll always be on. But
Yes.
you look phenomenal.
Thank you.
You look great.
Feel great.
Is there any one activity that you couldn't do before that now that you're 135 pounds down that you just get so excited that you can do?
Yes, when we love to go camping, and being able to, just set up camp in a decent amount of time, and go on walks, like go hiking and things like that. That was not anything I could even think of doing. Yeah, several years ago. My weight's always been an issue from very young age to all the way through adulthood. And there's always the fad diets and things that, it never worked. But this is something that's 100% best decision of my life.
Would do again.
Would do again.
100%. Well, you know what? If you are considering your resolution this year and weight loss is at the top of that, or even in your top 5, do a little research. Check out weight loss surgery, especially the gastric sleeve like Amy had. And then just talk to some people. You can go on Facebook. There's lots of groups that you can find if you want to talk to people that have had it. I know this is Amy's story, but I've had weight loss surgery as well. And so there are a lot of people that would be willing to talk to you about their journey. Or if you're interested in the program, St. Vincent, we have programs in Hot Springs and in the Little Rock area. And so just contact the program, the weight loss program, and talk to their coordinator or their nurse, or even schedule an appointment and go talk to the doctor to see what that option looks like for you. But
the scariest step is making that first phone call.
Making the first phone call.
After that, that's the scariest part.
Yeah. But no, weight loss surgery is not a cop-out. It's not an easy way out. It is the best tool to put in your toolbox to help you to get where you have been. And you heard it here, Amy's lost 135 pounds. That's 135, guys. 135. That's a small human. And 3 years out, she's kept it off. She looks phenomenal. You can tell it in her face how excited she is, even just remembering the steps. And so don't wait. Make that your resolution. Get healthier. And then, like Amy said, it's never too early to start hydrating. You're probably not hydrated now, especially coming off the holidays. So make sure that you're already doing those things. But don't let it scare you. It'll be the best decision ever.
100%.
Give it a stamp of approval.
Yes.
Stamp of
Every
approval. Every day. Well, until next time, guys, we're going to be talking to a heart patient for Heart Month in February. So come back and see us in February to learn how to keep your heart healthy. Thanks for joining us for today's episode of A View from the Bed, A Patient's Perspective. We hope that you found it helpful. We hope that it helped you make your healthcare decisions. We hope that it made you feel a little more comfortable with your own journey. And we hope that you'll join us next time.